Yes, I want to talk about that, and I did complete. I got seven things here that are great about our
Awesome.
business. And so
Awesome.
I did do
Awesome.
that because, to tell you the truth, I think the more as I went through it, the better I got at what you were
Uh-huh.
looking for, I think. And
Okay.
then,
Well,
and then I'm wanting to find out how best to communicate it when I talk to people. Because I
this is
really,
this, this is what this call is all about, brother.
okay, good.
Okay. Really,
Okay,
really, really just sit back and just kind of pay attention because we are recording the call, and I want, obviously I want you to be 100% engaged in this so you follow along and understand that, it really is, there's really just a couple fundamental pieces of this that we have to make sure of.
okay,
One, we have to make sure that we're bringing home the idea that we are the best partner for that realtor. And you have a
okay,
very small window of time that you can present that unique selling proposition in and actually hold their attention.
mm-hmm,
So we have to be very aware on what comes out of our mouth, and we have to script it, and we have to play it, and we have to role play it, and we have to make sure it flows, because otherwise it's going to sound very
mm-hmm,
scripted. You know what I mean?
right, mm-hmm, okay,
So it always starts off with taking control over the conversation. One of the greatest strategies that you can do when you sit down with a realtor is really deal with the white elephant in the room. And the white elephant in the room is this. I know that the realtor, if you're meeting with me, is either here because you're not having great luck with your current lender, B, you're bored and have nothing better to do, or C, you truly want to find a partnership in which you want to build a practice that makes sense, and why not give me a try because I called on you, and why not?
okay,
One of those three things are accurate. Either
okay,
they're bored and have nothing better to do, or they have a current situation and they're just angry and they want to see what else is out there, or they have a business that they're really trying to grow and really want to try to figure out if there's a better way to do it. Okay? So I always started with the white elephant in the room. Mr. Agent, I'm glad you took the time to meet with me today. I promise I will hold you to 30 minutes at best. So I'm going to set a timer on the clock because I lead a very tight schedule, and I just want to make sure that I respect your time, and that's what I promised you to, 30 minutes. So I'm going to hit the start button on that. But most of the conversations that I have, Mr. Agent, is really trying to figure out if I'm a good fit for your business. But the reality for me is I'm also trying to decide if you're the right fit for my business. And let me kind of get into that with you a little bit. So would you prefer to work with, if someone was going to ask you about your business, would you prefer to work with a referral or a lead? And every single time, Les, you know what the answer is going to be, don't you?
mm-hmm, yes, mm-hmm,
There's not a single realtor that would go, I'd prefer to work with a lead. They will work with leads because they don't have enough referrals, but if given the chance to have enough referrals, they would never buy a lead or get another lead or have to work with another lead.
right, okay,
So the conversation starts off with, I'd prefer to work with a referral. That's awesome. You know what? I couldn't agree more. Don't referrals make the best relationship? Don't those referrals, aren't they the ones that offer you, that cause you the least headache, give you the least amount of problems, don't waste your time, they're easier to talk to, plus you have somebody common and somebody in common, somebody who referred them, right?
mm-hmm,
Now let me stop you first. Just let me stop there for a second. The reason you talk about that is because what you're trying to do is you're trying to build a rapport. You build a common ground for which both of you can operate from, and that you guys are both talking the same language. Can you see why
okay,
that little piece of information is so valuable right there?
yes, yes,
It gets
definitely,
everybody on ground zero.
okay,
After you talked about that for a little bit, then you ask them the next question. How do you define a successful transaction? Because you know what, Mr. Realtor, as much as I know you're trying to figure out if I'm a good fit, I'm also trying to figure out if you're a good fit. And I'll tell you why here in a minute, but just kind of humor me a little bit and explain to me, what you define as a successful transaction. and you'll wait to hear their answer. 9 out of 10 of them is going to be everything other than getting a referral.
Right.
Now, that's kind of perplexing, isn't it?
Yeah.
You told me that you prefer to work with referrals, but your definition of a successful transaction is not getting a referral. I struggle with that, Mr. Agent, for a variety of different reasons. See, because I'm very selective with the realtors that I work with, and it isn't because we don't all do a good job, but I've met very few realtors that are referable. And to me, when I work with my clients, my definition of a successful transaction isn't everything you just said, because I believe that closing on time, not having them angry at me, not losing the transaction, whatever they come up with, you reiterate back to them. See, I believe everything that you just described is basically a C-level loan officer in this business. If you can't get what you just described to me, then you're working with somebody that's a C player or below. And see, I'm only interested in working with A players.
Okay.
So if we understand that we prefer to work with referrals, and now we are both on the same page that we believe the definition of a successful transaction is a referral, would it beg the question of what makes you referable? A point that maybe you and I could talk about a little bit? And so what I think will happen at that moment, Les, is they are going to stumble over their feet.
Yeah.
Because what you tell them is, before you tell me what makes you referable, let me just tell you some of the acronyms and the adjectives that people are throwing at me when I've interviewed them in the past. Unless I'm sure you could give me 10 to 15 of them right now. But every agent that I talk to, I've kind of narrowed it down to a list. They're all honest. At least they all say they are. They all say they work 24/7. They all say they're available. They all say they return calls and emails. They all say that they're very, very talented at their job. They all say that they represent their client well. So if all of those things are what every other realtor says, everything what would you say if that was your competition saying that out there? What would you say that would actually make you a referable realtor?
Okay.
Do you know why I asked them to say that? Why I take that off? Do you understand why do you understand why I take those other things off the table?
No. Why don't you go ahead and share with? I don't know exactly. So.
It's because you want them to start to see you as the consultant. See, a consultant less, which is what you're going to start talking about here in a minute. See, what a consultant is somebody who studies their craft, understands their audience's goals, wants, and needs, and understands the questions and the answers better than their audience does. That's how they're able to consult with their client.
Okay.
And so it isn't that you're putting the realtor on the spot as much as you're saying, these are the conversations that I've had in the past, and this is what I believe, this is what most of agents tell me. That makes them referable. And to be honest, if what you are is compared to a box at Home Depot, or you're compared to somebody that works down the street at a discount shop that charges $5.95 for a listing, or you're going to do it with an attorney in a Facebook account, you have to figure out a way to be different than the rest of your group, different than the rest of the competition. And so by you listing out all those things of being honest and 24/7 and all that, that basically gives credibility to what you're saying before they've had a chance to speak. So you've given them the information that makes them, it basically shuts down most of all of their responses because you've already told them that those are the things that everybody has said to you.
Right.
We don't have to. Okay. We don't need to interview 100 realtors. We know that what the agents are going to say.
Right.
And in all fairness, I interviewed 15 realtors at a presentation that I did, and that's what they all said.
Yeah.
They said, I work hard. I go above and beyond. Okay, those are great. You don't think everybody says that?
Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. I get it.
So
I like it.
So up to this point, You've done most of the talking.
Right.
You really haven't given them, you're not frogging them yet. And you know
Right.
why you're not frogging them yet?
Because I need to take control.
Well, it's not even taking control. You need to shift the balance of power from the realtor believing that they're the king shit
Okay.
on this call or in this meeting
Yeah.
and that they own you, to the point where
Uh-huh.
you're looking at them going, I frankly don't believe that you're going to be a fit for my business, but I'll play along and let's see if you're capable.
Yeah. Okay.
So what you've done now is you've shifted the power to your side of the table, and you know why we do that, and it's because, in all fairness, Les, we are the prize. And I'm not saying that arrogantly, meaning
Mm-hmm.
we are the prize. We are the ones that handle 100 potential challenges that could go wrong from A to B. I'm from A to Z, womb to tomb. We're the ones that ultimately are the ones that come to closing or not come to closing with the money.
Mm-hmm.
We're the ones that act more professional and more engaged with our clients than the realtors ever will.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, my friend, we make 5 times as much money as most realtors, so I'm going to act like I'm the big deal here.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not acting like I'm a big deal because I'm showing off. I'm acting like the big deal is because I want them to see the value in what I do, and I don't want them to position me in the same light as every other loan officer that's walked into the door that has thrown them rate sheets, donuts, beers, wine, and
Mm-hmm.
good faith estimates and, money. It's
Okay.
not. So I'm coming in there with a very clear and set expectation list for a couple different reasons. One, I want to be the prize. Two, I want them to see me being who I know that I am, which is a high-level consultant. And C, I want to have a follow-up conversation, and I'm going to only give them just enough to make them wanting more.
Okay.
So when they stumble over their words and can't define why they're referable,
Okay.
that's when you tell them. See, I believe that communication is the greatest failure in our business and probably many businesses, but I think communication in our business is infinitely abused. And so I've spent many years trying to figure out what makes this transaction go really, really well so that I can define it as a successful transaction. And what I found is underneath this umbrella of communication, there are 3 things that I believe you and I both play a role in every time we open our mouths to our clients. See, when a client asks me, or when I tell the client that they're probably trying to decide whether they want to use me or not, I'm going to address the conversation before they get a chance to ask it. And I'm going to say, you guys are probably wondering why you even are wanting to use me. I realize that you have choices out there between banks and credit unions and internet companies, and I get it. You guys will be bombarded with rates. I get it. And I'm not here to tell you that I'm the cheapest lender out there, but here's what I am for you. See, I believe that underneath this umbrella of communication, I have 1, 2, and 3 responsibilities to you as a consumer that I believe you can't get from anybody else. I'm an exceptionally talented consultant. I'm going to ask the questions. I'm going to dig deep because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know what this process involved. There are literally 100 things that could go wrong, and I'll get into those with you, but there are literally 100 things that could go wrong. And most of them don't, but these are all things that could. And as a consultant, my job is to answer the questions and ask the questions that help navigate us through this process before they become a problem. I don't think you can get that at a credit union or a bank or a big internet company. The second thing, Mr. Realtor, that I do for your clients is that I'm a great negotiator. I'm going to negotiate the process of them getting a mortgage as if it was my own money. I'm going to try my best to make sure we avoid as many challenges and issues as humanly possible by negotiating through the relationships that I have with the underwriter and the bank and my underwriting department and my processors so that we all see the benefit. And the last thing that I think is probably, if not by far, the most important piece of my role is I'm a manager of fears and expectations. That's why our style of communicating, that's why I believe that I'm not the right lender for every realtor, and not every lender or every realtor is the right realtor for me, because I need to partner with those agents that have the same philosophies, that understand the same things that I do, that talk the same way, for the simple fact that if we both speak the same language, there's a greater than 70% chance that no matter what happens, if we follow the rules of those three roles that I've just outlined, we stand the best chance of getting a referral. And that's what makes me a referral. And that's why when I sit here with agents, I'm always seeking that agent that really gets it. And so I don't know if we're a good fit. I don't know if our businesses are in alignment with each other or not. But I'd love to hear what it is about your business that you think makes it, that makes it good, that makes it a value to your clients.
Mm-hmm.
And sit back and let them talk. And what you're going to find out, Les, is they don't have much to say. What you'll find they'll start doing to you is they're going to start frogging you.
Yeah.
How would you like to be the one that gets frogged?
That'd be pretty cool.
Why? Why do you think it'd be cool to be frogged?
Because then I would be the one they're needing.
Ah, well said. And what the realtor's either going to do is either they're going to check out and find you arrogant, which if you think I'm arrogant, then that's not my problem.
Yeah.
That means what you don't see is the value in what I'm doing. And I'm not saying it arrogantly. I've never been, I may come across as confident and very sure of myself, but it's not arrogance. It's always about, I can teach you something if you're willing to, to buy into it. And then as the conversation goes, I never say it on the first, our first meeting. But I'm like, I would love to talk to you more about helping you become more referable. I would love to show you how we can become a better partnership with you. I mean, wouldn't you like to have a loan officer team or a mortgage practice, Mr. Realtor, that actually provides you accurate, up-to-date information so that when you speak to your clients, they actually say thank you to you, and your lender keeps you appraised of what's going on before anybody else has to ask questions? Wouldn't it be nice to know that your relationship with your client is amplified through the relationship that you have with your lender? If you don't have that right now, then maybe a conversation about how we could partner up with each other might actually be possible. So I promised you 30 minutes, my friend. I know we're probably, right close to that. I've got another appointment to go to. I would love a chance to talk to you some more if that's something that you'd be interested in. Here's my card. And if you got one, it'd be great. And then what I'll do is either myself or one of my colleagues will follow up with you in a couple days, and let's see if we can meet again. That's it. If you could do three of those meetings a day, how are you going to be viewed by the realtor after you leave? Do you think they're going to go, well, I don't know if they'll forget about you. Do you think that the realtor will have ever in their entire career have had a conversation with a loan officer like that?
No.
Confidently, right? Confidently, there's probably not a snowball's chance in hell that they've ever had a meeting that went like that and that you've said and articulated the things that you just did.
Right.
And not once did you ask them for business. Not once did you tell them that you were a loan officer. Not once did you tell them that you wrote loans for a living. Not once did you talk about rates, fees, and products.
Yep.
And frankly, more often than not, they're going to be attracted to you more than they've ever been attracted to another lender.
Yeah.
I hear it from the LOs at the field right now. Huh?
Mm-hmm. I can sure see that. I can tell you I've done the frogging thing, and a lot of times it just ended up being, it was fine.
It's a fun. You can meet some really nice people and find that you have some great conversations with a variety of different people.
Right.
But there's never really any meat and substance.
Right.
And between you and me, and this is between you and me only.
Yes.
I honestly believe that Thor's hammer, the tool in which you use, I think is a great tool. But what it fails at is teaching the loan officer on the substance of what to talk about, because all Thor's Hammer is right now is a consistent reminder to a realtor that you're there, and at some point you'll happen to catch them in 12 weeks in a bad mood or hate their loan officer, and they'll pick up the phone and go, all right, Les, let's talk. And I just don't, I don't know if that's as powerful as it can be. I think if you take what we're talking about and you have 30 of those conversations with 30 realtors, and then you do your follow-up call with them for 12 weeks, and the message that you have every single week is, hey, Mr. Tuttle, Doug Catter, it's Friday. Just want to let you know I'll be working this weekend. I've got some things I got to catch up on. I got some clients that I'm trying to take care of, and I wanted to find out if there was a chance that one of the relationships that you have that you're working with, if I might be able to help amplify that for you and work hard at getting you and earning you another referral from that relationship. If you got a client that I would be that you feel would be a good fit for for that experience, I would love a chance and be honored at the chance.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the message every single week.
Yeah. That makes, tell you, Doug, that makes more sense than the other, because like I say, the other is always, I always, as I told you last year, I felt I wasn't good at it because I just felt like I was bugging people. There wasn't, like.
Do you know why? Do you know why you feel like you bug people?
Because I am.
Well, it's a little. I'm with you. I don't know if that's the truth, but that's the same feeling I have. I know that when I called on realtors, that's why I didn't do it. There's a process that I found out. It's called leaning. Like when you lean on a table. Leaning is defined as this: when you put on someone else a need that you have that you can't provide yourself, is when you lean on somebody. It's not a want, it's a need. Leaning on somebody is you're leaning on them because you need them to fill a void in your business or your life that you can't get for yourself. That's leaning. And when we pick up the phone, Les, you could talk to anybody about anything. If you took your mortgage hat off and you were a minister, if you were a big brother, if you were a good Samaritan, if you had here's another way to look. If you had $100 in your pocket and you had $1,000 every morning you woke up and your job every single day was to call and have a conversation with 10 people every day about something that would last 45 minutes, I'm pretty sure you could find a way to talk to 10 people and give them $100. But if somebody gave you $100 to talk to 10 realtors every day for 45 minutes, you'd struggle picking up the phone, wouldn't we?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And it's because of the mindset. It's because of what's between our ears. And the truth is that we believe we're bugging people because we know in our hearts and heads that we have nothing of value to tell them.
Uh-huh.
We have no differentiation conversation. We have no unique selling proposition. We have no value-added conversation to have. We just don't. And so the truth is that the only way we can differentiate ourselves is by shifting the power to our favor in a way that I just went through with you.
Yeah.
And then from there, Les, the rest of it is you just doing what you've always done. Do you?
Yes. I'm telling you, there was always something missing, and I just didn't know what it was, and that makes all the sense in the world to me.
You didn't have enough vitamin D in your life.
I guess so. But here's my next question, okay? Because I can see me doing that. I need to learn that. And I'm glad we're recording it because I would like to go over this because I believe I can do that. The question I have now is how is the best way to approach them when talking to them to get the meeting? I don't know.
Easy. That's easy, Les. That's the easiest
right,
part.
Then that's what I need. I need the easy part then.
Mr. Tuttle. Hey, my name is Doug Catteray. You know what? I'm working with a select group of realtors, helping them increase their opportunities for referrals during their process and helping them become a more referable practice. Because in my research, I found that most realtors prefer to work with referrals than leads. I'm not sure if you'd be a good fit for the program or not. I'm not sure you'd even be interested, but I'd like to take 30 minutes of your time and figure out if maybe this may or may not be a good fit for you. Could you do that for me?
And you do that on voicemail too. You leave that
You
on
do that on
voicemail.
voicemail. You don't need to tell them that. The one thing you will not ever do on that call is tell them you're a loan officer. If they ask, you tell them, but you never tell them that you're a loan officer because that shoots yourself in the foot. It already puts you off, and their guards up. What you're going to tell them is that you would like to find out if they would like to partner with a program that helps improve their business's referability and the ability for them to increase their referrals. And when they ask you if it's on the call or if they ask you while you're sitting there in front of them, which eventually they might come out and go, Les, are you a loan officer? And you're like, you know what, I am. That's what I get paid to do. But the truth is that my business is not about closing loans. My business is about amplifying relationships. And I'm seeking out a select group of realtors that want to learn how to partner with a mortgage practice that does an exceptionally good job at amplifying relationships and getting referrals. Les, who's going to say no?
No.
Well, here are the ones that are going to say no. The ones that don't get it. Okay, fine. And I'm willing to bet you out of every 10 realtor meetings you have, you might find 2 that might work. The other 8, you have to go into it going, I'm going to talk to 8 buffoons or 8 people that just don't get it, or 8 people. That's why you only have a cup of coffee with them in the first meeting. Mm-hmm. It's literally a half hour. You don't spend any money. Then you just dump it on them and you leave.
Yeah.
In a cool way. Obviously in a cool way. But the voicemail is, I have a referral practice and program that I'm looking at sharing with realtors, and in order for me to figure out if it's going to make sense, you may or may not want it, you may or may not get it, you may or may not want to be a part of it. Yeah. But I promise you this, buddy, you are now the prize. And when they ask you if you're a loan officer, yeah. My primary income is being a mortgage professional. I close loans. Mm-hmm. But how I get my loans, where I get my loans, and why I get my loans are what I'm interested in sharing with you, because it may or may not be of value to you. So let me ask you, do you prefer to work with referrals or leads? I mean, it all keeps coming back to the one message over and over and over and over again.
All right. So,
does that make sense, brother?
Oh yeah, it does. I just need to practice it because, like I told you, I've been a lot different from this, and like I said, I want to practice this, and I want to do this because that just sounds awesome. The part of me now, and like I say, I'll be just like you are with me, being real honest, is okay when that is saying, hey, make you more referable, and I mean, I can see. I mean, I've had some conversations with some good agents that go, well, heck yeah, look at how great I'm doing, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm going, and it's like, what could you do to help me? And so I'm kind of having.
And that's what the realtor says to you?
That's what I envision, because I've had, I've had questions like that, and then I always go back to well, I do this, and this, and so that I shouldn't be saying. And so I guess my question is when you say, hey, I want to see if you want to partner with a program that helps you'd be more referable. what is that program? Is it just it ends up being me having this in place here where people close and fund on time, isn't it? Isn't that what the program is, or what? Help me with
No,
what I'm missing.
it's not. It has nothing to do with closing on time.
Okay,
It has everything to do with, it has everything to do with,
getting a referral.
well, it has everything to do with orchestrating referable moments through the process.
Okay.
Les, let me ask you a question about the process.
Yeah.
How many times during the process do you think your client talks to people in their life about them buying a home?
Well,
Like, do you think they talk a lot about buying a home while they're going through the process?
yeah, I think some do, and probably some are probably quieter about it. I mean,
Well, I'm
I
going to
think
bet you
that differs.
80% of the population that buys homes talk to their family, their friends,
Yeah.
and their coworkers
Yeah.
during the
Okay.
process. Okay?
Okay. All right.
And for about 60 days after owning a home, they talk about everything that's going on in the house.
Okay.
Okay? So it
Okay.
stands to reason that if you want your name to be passed around in your client's professional and social circle, it stands to reason that you'd be wise to start the process off from the very beginning for a couple
Okay.
different reasons. You probably don't even notice anymore, but I'm willing to bet you that you and your team probably get quite a number of thank yous from your clients and realtors during the process.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm also willing to bet you that every time somebody says thank you to you guys, your response is, was my pleasure. I'm glad I could help.
Yeah.
Or something to that effect. We minimize it. Fair?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So here's where the program really lies. It is a proven fact that 60% of the people that you close loans with would gladly help you if you ask them to. That means that if you do a great job, and we know you do a great job because people say thank you to you all the time during the process,
Mm-hmm.
that if you ask them when they are most susceptible, there's a good chance that you could see a 30 to 40% increase in your overall referrals. And it goes a little bit like this, Mr. Realtor. See, what I believe is when I meet with a client, see, my number one goal is to expand my brand. And my brand is amplifying relationships. And let me define that for you just a little bit more. I believe in this thing called the triangle of trust. I believe that my number one responsibility, no matter what happens with that client, is that client will go back to the referral source and say thank you. And by doing that, it amplifies the relationship between the client and the referral source, whether it be you or a past client of mine or whomever. And if you've ever gotten a call from somebody that says thank you for doing something for them, it feels pretty good, right? It makes you feel really good about yourself because you were able to help somebody make the right decision. And if I'm able to do that with the referral source, it amplifies my relationship with that referral source. So if it was you, I would strengthen my relationship with you just doing what is right for the client. Now, in the event that I'm actually able to take the client through the process, if I'm the right lender and I'm the right person to help them through the process, then what I've created is a referable process. And the referable process means that when the client agrees to do business with us, they're also agreeing that when we've earned the right to ask for a referral, that they will be compelled to do so. And we do that in ways such as this. When a client says thank you to either myself or my team is conditioned to say, thanks for noticing. Les and I work really hard at making this process go extremely smooth because we count on people like you to not keep as a secret to the people they care about. Please don't forget, we're counting on you to refer us to somebody you care about. We have found, Mr. Realtor, that through the process, there are 5 times guaranteed that our clients will say thank you to us, and there are 5 times guaranteed that we will relay this message to them. And we have found that within those 5 times, our clients enthusiastically and with commitment refer us to somebody that they care about. Now, it doesn't happen all the time, but when they do, we define that as a successful transaction. But we've also found that after the closing, those clients also remember that our business is referred to us. And we've also found that we get quite a number of past client referrals. And what we've also found is that those past clients, when they refer somebody, typically don't have a strong relationship with a realtor. And our job or our mission is to ensure that if that referral comes from a seed that we've created, that we do everything in our power to control that relationship and push it back to the agent that started it. And we have a lot of clients that have closed homes where the agents aren't around and so on and so forth. And every time we get a client that doesn't have an agent, we would love to refer to the agents that believe in the same philosophy, that really embrace it. And that's what our mission is. So we're very selective about the agents that we work with because, frankly, I don't believe most agents have that ability. And it's not a knock on realtors. It's just I don't think most realtors understand the mindset of what it means to be referable. Now, I'm interested in partnering with agents that would like to learn and believe that that's a great business model and believe that a partnership can be achieved that way and we can have balance in our life and fun, and that's what I'm after. So if you're interested in a program, the program is give me a chance to work with one of your clients. Let me show you what we're going to do. Let me show you how we do it. And let me show you how we can amplify the relationship that you have with that client.
Okay.
Now, it doesn't mean perfect. It doesn't mean that we take the client and the transaction's flawless. That's not what this is about. This is about the last of the 3 styles of communication that I feel like I pride myself on. We are exceptionally good at managing people's fears and expectations. So that means that even if we're able to miss a closing date, even if the value of the home doesn't come in, even if the VOD doesn't happen on time, even if the seller delays the closing, even if whatever happens, our ability to manage the client's fears and expectations is paramount in helping us achieve a successful transaction. So even when things don't go perfectly, how we react and how we deal with it does have an impact on whether or not we get a referral or not.
Okay.
And that's it, brother. That's what I do.
I love it. I mean, I really do. I appreciate you recording this for me because I want to study it because a lot of times, you know, when I talk to you, I'm writing and I don't get it all down. And, you know, I don't know shorthand. And so I appreciate you doing that. So, because I would like to study phrases more and have that a part of me. So I really appreciate it because all of that, I mean, that I can see how that is so much different and better than what I've been doing. So
let me ask you, I want you to give me 2 words that come to mind immediately. How do you feel? Give me the 2 words that come to mind when you talk about how this feels to hear.
Much better.
It's not salesy. It's not leaning. It's not loan officer speak. It's partnership speak. It's I'm a business owner. I'm an entrepreneur. I understand this business. I'm a consultant. Remember how we talked about number 1 thing, Mr. Tuttle?
Mm-hmm.
I'm a consultant. And in their head right now, they believe you are.
Yeah. Wow.
And it's all about setting the stage.
Yeah.
I'm not after perfection. I'm after the right mindset. I will tell the realtor right to their face, I'm not perfect. We have difficult transactions. But if I'm a great consultant, we avoid a lot of the problems. If we manage the people's fears and expectations through the process, we can still create a successful transaction, which in your world, Mr. Realtor, is a referral too. So
Yeah.
why would we even want to risk partnering with a loan officer or a realtor in our respective fields that doesn't have the same goal? And if you don't have the same goal with your team, then you're probably not working to your greatest strength. Mm-hmm. That's where I think we could be a partner, or that's where I think we will never be a partner.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff, huh?
Oh, yeah, Doug, man, I appreciate it. That's great. That is great. Yeah, I appreciate it. Hey,
I'm not just a pretty face, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, I'm glad to know that.
Yeah, me too, right?
There's something behind that pretty face.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I'm all with you.
Yeah.
So
don't want to mess up the moneymaker, but I got some brains up here too, I think.
All right. Hey, that is, I mean, that really is good. I appreciate it. So, like I said, on this stuff that I wrote down about my branch, when I didn't hear you use any of that. What's the greatest part about my branch? So when is that used?
Right. What you're going to do when you talk about your business to realtors, this could be on the follow-up call. This could be anytime. Okay. Anytime you feel the need to define what your business is, mm-hmm. you put those 7 things out there. Mr. Realtor, wouldn't it be nice to know that your lender that you work with, give me your top 3. Just give me your top 3. What are the 3 greatest values of your business?
Okay. I wrote, I mean, the 2 that you gave me, I've got those at the top, okay? Mm-hmm. I wrote down here at the end, and I said, we take a holistic approach to helping people with their financial decisions that will actually have an impact on their lives.
Okay. How does that, define that in the sense of a realtor? Why would a realtor care? Again, Les, this is for your agent. This isn't you. This isn't what you're going to tell a client. This is what you're going to try. This is what you believe your value is. But now turn it into the benefit to the realtor.
Yes, because after I do that, after we do that, we've had so much success where people are so thankful that we have actually showed them how to save money on their finances by paying loans off and getting things taken care of. They say thank you, and that way we can return that back to you.
How do you return that back to them?
By by amplifying our values and our relationship.
How does your approach at being holistic with the clients? How do you tell that? How do you spin it so a realtor gets the benefit? Like, how does the realtor benefit from you being holistic? Because you're amplifying the relationship, because the client's going to genuinely be so thankful that they'll be glad to go back to them and say thank you?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so holistic doesn't mean anything to the realtor. How you do it doesn't really matter. The fact in which you are able to do it matters. So, and you can describe it holistically, but what you're really saying is, isn't it nice to know, Mr. Realtor, that the lending partnership that you have has such a strong referable mindset that the client not only is compelled to want to say thank you to you for putting them in touch with us, but also are compelled to go out into the world and amplify our relationships by telling the people who they care about us.
Okay.
See, what you're going to do is instead of putting the I in there or the me in there, you substitute it with the realtor. And so you say it as if what you're doing is for the realtor, but you're not doing it. Meaning you're not the one that's doing the holistic approach. What you're doing is you're giving you're you're doing it holistically, but the benefit to the realtor isn't that you do it holistically. The benefit to the realtor is they get a thank you because you connect with the consumer, and the benefit is that that consumer goes out there and talks to the people they care about the realtor and us, because we're both judged at the same,
Okay.
we're both judged the same way because we're both clowns in the circus.
Yeah.
So the premise on this is understanding what your value proposition is can be given to the realtors. You can tell that to the realtors, but it's more or less for you to be able to look in front of an agent and go, here's why you use me. Like, I honestly believe that unless you know why, if I don't know why you want to use me, how is a realtor supposed to? And so you can go back to holistically, you can go back to defensively with regards to their finance. I mean, you could list off 1,000 different reasons, but none of that really matters to the realtor.
Okay.
All the realtor really cares about is, like, frankly, Les, you don't really care where the realtor gets their referrals from, as long as you get a chance to work with them. Mm-hmm. You don't care that they're out there doing it holistically, if they're out there doing it, standing on a street corner in a funny costume.
Mm-hmm.
You'll take the referral, won't you?
Yep, I'll take it.
So it doesn't really matter how you do it. What matters is, I mean, the how might come up at some point when you learn more about the person and you connect more intimately. But right now, all your message needs to be is, what is the benefit to your audience? It's not the how, but the why is. The reason you're doing this, Les, is because of your view and your opinion and the way you believe business should be run. And you believe you care more than most people. But a realtor right now doesn't care why. They just want to know what's in it for them.
Right. Okay.
Do you follow me on that?
Yes, I do. That helps out a lot. So, yeah, that helps me on this other one. So,
Was this
I
worth the
appreciate
time?
it, man.
Was this worth the time?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I appreciate it very much.
Good.
How do I get the recording?
Just give me time to decompress the file, turn it to a link, and I'll email it over to you.
Hey, man, Doug, I appreciate it. Like I
Last,
said, I'm so glad I'm talking to you and was honest with myself to say, hey, I need some help. So I appreciate it.
Here's what I'll offer you up, brother. I have
Okay.
a standing appointment weekly with 30 to 35 people, either on a single or a group call. If you want to participate and you want some weekly coaching, I would be honored at the chance to talk to you, work with you, and help you out in any way, shape, or form.
I appreciate it.
I mean, it's standing there. So if you want something or want a little bit of time, just call me up and say I need to get on the calendar.
Okay. Hey.
So whenever you're ready, let me send you the link. Work on this, and when you're ready for the next chapter, we'll jump into it.
Hey, I will do that, Doug. I guarantee it, and I'm going to study and work on this all week long. Okay.
Awesome.
So
Awesome, buddy.
I
Look for the
appreciate
replay here in about 40 minutes.